Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Montana. And we are up against a carrier in the new update. Yay! No, I wanted to get into a familiar ship that we are pretty good in and test out whether or not it's still viable to play battleships at high tiers currently with the carriers and everything that's going on. Turns out, yes, you can. You just gotta hope that the carrier decides that you're not the problem. And that gives you time to win. But, as you guys saw yesterday during the stream, there are definitely situations where you're still going to be just as effective. But, most of the time, you're going to be offset one way or the other. If you're in a carrier game and you get focused by the carrier, there's really not a whole lot you can do about it. You have to decide whether you're going to deal with the, trying to dodge the carrier, and that puts you in vulnerable positions against the enemy ships, or you ignore the carrier, which is going to lead to a lot of damage, and you try to angle against the people that are up against you. Now, in a perfect scenario, the carrier leaves you alone and allows you to do what you're going to do. That's kind of what happens in this game. We are going to push forward. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to a couple of things in this match. Notably, Destroyer. Please pay attention to what this Destroyer does, okay? But right off the bat, we have Aegir pushing in. We didn't get spotted. So we hold our fire, wait for a good opportunity to blap him. He's bow tanking us, we take the shot, and as soon as we do, of course, everybody else lights up. Go figure. Unfortunate, but hey, should lead to a decent first hit. And not the greatest 7800, but we'll take it. But there's Montana here. There's also Republic over here. And between the Aegir, the Montana, and the Republic, we are going to try to push forward. And we do have a destroyer here. And as long as the destroyer doesn't do something incredibly stupid, we should have some spotting during this match. However, Montana does the unthinkable and decides to go full broadside to me, which, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're going to take that shot all day, every day, and we take about a third of his health off. No, maybe not. We'll call it a quarter. He fires HE at me. Really.
The ship is on fire.
Out of a Montana. I mean, don't get me wrong, he still did damage, but, yeah, I think I win that engagement. Now, our destroyer smokes up, turns away. He's currently getting shot at by a Aegir and a Republic. We come around the corner. We've got a beautiful look at this Republic's broadside. He's over-angled, and of course he goes dark the moment we get ready to shoot. But, fortunately, we were still locked on. It didn't matter. We hit that man for about half his hit points, and that's not even Citadeling. Remember, the best way to Citadel a Republic is if they are angling away, or if you can catch the rear third of the ship. Like, if you can hit right around the rear turret through the cheek, that's the best way to Citadel a Republic. At least in my experience, that has been my experience. Now, he does make the turn, and here, I'm not going to lie, I thought I was going to Citadel him just to prove a point, but unfortunately that doesn't happen, but we still slap him. We've got him down to very little hit points, and we're trying to finish him off, right? Like, the sooner we get rid of him, the better, because Aegir is dangerous, but not nearly as dangerous as being broadside to a couple of battleships, because Aegir's just not as strong. So we can get rid of them. We'll be in a good spot. The Montana has already moved away. We did shoot the front guns at the Repub. We're going to go ahead and shoot the rear turrets at the Aegir. Now, this is something that I start doing, and a lot of people just don't do. Now, our destroyer has what can only be described as a sudden rush of to the brain, okay? The dude had a smoke screen. I don't know if he wasn't paying attention to the smoke screen timer or what, but he decides to YOLO rush an Aegir. This is never going to end in your favor. Between the secondaries and the primaries of the Aegir, you're done. Not to mention torpedoes if it came down to it. But I want to see what this guy is capable of. Now, the good news is, because he rushes the Aegir over-rotates, trying to dodge torpedoes that he knows is coming, and that allows us to slap him. So on one hand, you have the destroyer throwing his hit points away. And on the other hand, you have the destroyer forcing the enemy Aegir to do something, which allows me to get some good hits on the Aegir. But he does land 2 torpedoes, and that's going to be the end of the Jaeger, one way or the other. You decide whether that was worth it or not, as we take down the Jaeger.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
And now, with the Montana pushing into the middle, we don't really have a good look at him, so we're going to go for the Seattle instead. Seattle has decided to push up on us. Now notice, I'm not sitting around waiting for things to go wrong, right? Like, we don't have the spotting anymore. So the only way we would be able to spot these guys is by me spotting. And this is something, battleship captains, you're going to have to get used to, okay? If you want to be effective in the new version of World of Warships Legends, part of it is adapting and overcoming, right? So we are currently double fired. I'm hoping that he gets the triple fire. If he continues to shoot HE at us, there's a good chance he does triple fire us at some point. So we'll see. But the Seattle has trapped himself. He's bow tanking a guy that overmatches him. So we're just going to keep advancing. We've got all of our guns being able to fire at him currently. He hasn't decided to shoot AP at all, so we're not real worried about that. And his fires have gone out.
Ship is on fire.
He's getting more fires. The carrier's finally showing up to try to ruin our day, so we just try to dodge as many of the torps as we can. Taking 2 is okay. The Midway finally gets himself spotted, so we're going to take a shot at that. Broadside Midway. And just continue to move forward. Now, our team is in a good position to shoot at the Midway, who's spotted. We get 1 hit. 1 hit, and it's a Citadel. Imagine if I was allowed to hit more than 1 hit. Now, because we dodged the first set, the Midway comes in and absolutely ruins our broadside with the second drop. And this is just an unfortunate side effect of the fact that you dodge the first set, you're not going to be able to dodge a second set in a battleship, unfortunately, right? Now, Midway is getting ruined, so I'm thinking, okay, well, if Midway's about dead, I'm going to go ahead and shoot at this Yama. We do have a cheek shot available here, potentially. We are winning the match, so I'm not worried about leaving the cap here. I'm more worried about getting into a position to continue to put pressure on the enemy. We're using our last heal. The Midway's running away from us pretty hardcore, but that leaves him broadside to the rest of my team, who is very capable of taking him down. Now, given the fact that they are right on top of him, the carrier decides to go after them instead. Now, this is all pointing to potential good things about the update, right? So, part of the update that you're going to have to get used to is adapting and overcoming. We finally get the cheek shot through the Yama's front cheek, but again, only 1, so we only get the 1 Citadel. But Mino pushes forward, he gets himself into a bad position, he's about to be taken out. But one of the things I want everybody to pay attention to what happens here is, 1, the carrier's in a position where he can be countered. That's not necessarily like something that you're going to run into a lot, because even with the fuel mechanic, you can stay pretty far back and keep yourself out of trouble for the most part and still have enough fuel to get in and do your attacks in most places on most maps, as we've demonstrated. But losing your spotting early in a game because a destroyer decides to throw their hit points away is something that we know is going to be a thing, right? Sticking close together is okay. Trying to support your flank is okay. You just can't put everybody in one location, because that's, again, not going to work out in your favor. So you've got to learn to try to work together on your side. And I know this is something that is a foreign concept to most people in this game. You see it every time where everybody runs away from their spawn and goes in groups together. The carrier update is simply making that matter worse currently. But I think as the carrier update goes on, as people get bored of playing carriers, because let's be honest here, most people don't enjoy playing carriers. There are people out there that do, and to those people, more power to you. I don't hate you for it. It's your play style. It's just not mine, right? But most people don't enjoy playing carriers. So, yes, it's a little bit of a fun little side project that we play right now because they're kind of busted, so people playing it more. But as the update progresses, less and less carriers will be back in the game, and we'll be back to somewhat normal, with the main caveat being the spotting mechanic. And I think that is the biggest change that people are going to have to get used to. Destroyers going out and dying immediately is still going to be a thing. They've shown in 5 years of playing the game that people still can't survive 30 seconds in a destroyer for some reason. It boggles the mind, but it is truth. So cruisers and battleships are going to have to start doing their own thing. And one of the things that I want to point out is if you're in a cruiser that has a very good detection range, i.e. the Italians, the British, stuff like that has like a sub 10 kilometer detection range, it is going to fall down to you guys to actually be the spotters a lot of times, because battleships and bigger cruisers are simply just not going to be able to move forward and spot those guys without spotting with their face and getting focused. Okay? Because in this climate, with everybody grouping together because of carrier fear, and then on top of that, the very first person that gets spotted is the only person spotted, most likely, everybody's going to be firing at them. So these are all little adjustments that we have to learn to make until they make more changes down the road, or until we just get used to this new meta. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I know I've been rambling a little bit after the thing, but it was a very quick match, so I didn't really have a whole lot of time to talk about all the things I wanted to talk about. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. And are you guys starting to see a change already in the first week? I mean, we kind of saw it yesterday during the stream. I'm interested. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.